Chapter 7. The Call.
Ashley looked in the mirror. She chuckled nervously, thinking to herself that technically she should not be able to see her reflection. Being a vampire was nothing like the movies made it out to be. The main leaders of most of the groups or cliques had gathered in the backyard, and they looked up to the porch where Austin and Nathan stood. They had gathered them, saying that Ashley wanted to speak to all of them. Tricia stood on the porch as well as Amy, and all the others. Back inside, Ashley was still fighting her confidence, or lack thereof. "I've never made a speech like this," Ashley said. "Yes, you have. You are the leader of the army that reclaimed L.A., Theraint said and placed a hand on her shoulder. "Yeah, well, the stakes were a bit lower there," Ashley said, the nerves on her face and the tears welled in her eyes. "This is big, Theraint, and I'm scared. This is nothing like the movies, and I don't feel all brave and powerful. I feel sick with worry for all those people. Vampire friends, whatever you want to call them," Ashley said. Theraint smiled. "I know someone who is much like you. But that is what makes you a good leader. This fight was going to happen. The blood banks are proof of that. He is done with the world the way it is. And you and your brave friends have come together, not only to save yourselves, but the entire human race." Theraint replied and gave her a pat on the shoulder and pointed at the door. She smiled and nodded. She opened the door and walked out, and conversation fell out of the crowd. She looked over the faces, some washed with worry and some with anger, but all humble and solemn, knowing that soon they would face the test of their lifetimes. She looked over to Tricia. Tricia smiled and gave her a wink. Once, not so long ago, a group of us said no more to the oppression of the bloodlust vampires. And by doing this, we sent a message to a much larger organization that we would stand against them. And now, that message is being answered. The bloodlust vampires must be stopped once and for all. The faces looked frightened. But they are not the only one to answer this message. Since that night we have exploded in numbers, and there are many of us as well. We do not stand alone. We will stand together and meet this new threat head on. The vampires began to gain some confidence. Ashley thought about leaving it there, but something told her to press on. And if they think they will take over without anyone standing against them, they are sorely mistaken. This is not the right thing to do for us. It's just the right thing to do. I know some of us are scared. Hell, all of us are scared. But it is what we do with that fear that matters. I wish I knew the right words to say, but all I can think of is we've taken on a very important job. But it's a job we can accomplish. Now let's roll," Ashley said, and she turned and walked back into the house. The scene was quiet for a few seconds, and then a roar of cheering and applause went. Theraint and the rest went inside and joined Ashley. "You did very well," Theraint said. "Well, it's just a speech. The real work is still very much ahead of us." Theraint's phone rang. Theraint looked at the phone. He did not know why, but he hit the green button. "Hello?" he asked. "Vampire?" a gruff voice asked. Theraint's face lifted into a smile. "I am here, Wolf," Theraint replied. "I need a favor. My family, I must get them. These riots have them scared," the wolf replied. "Well, they should. It sounds as if we are in the same problem. I will come and get you. Are you in the canyon?" Theraint asked. "Yes," the wolf replied. "Where is your family? We will go get them. This is the safest place right now." He grabbed a pen and a scrap of paper. "They are in California." The wolf told him their names and address. He motioned to Austin and gave him the scrap. "Bring them here safe," he said, covering the receiver of the phone. "Tell them the whole story." Austin's face went confused. They are used to interesting stories. He turned his attention back to the phone. "Okay, we will get them and bring them here. I am coming for you," Theraint finished. "Thank you, vampire." The wolf growled into the phone. "It's Theraint, and don't thank me yet. "This is far from over," Theraint said. He hung up the phone. He walked over to Ashley. "I need to go. I will meet you there," he said. Her face was shocked, but Theraint gave her a wink and headed for the garage. "Where's he going?" Nathan asked, alarmed. "I don't know. He's going to meet us there," she smiled. "I think he has something brewing." "Oh, that's reassuring," Nathan quipped. Theraint grabbed a set of keys for a car and then rethought it. He went back to the board and studied the keys, and instead he grabbed a set for an SUV, which had dark tint. He jumped into the SUV and pulled out into the street. A few minutes later he was on the freeway, starting the long drive to Zion National Park. Theraint smiled. This was a good turn of events, and the last thing he would have ever guessed would happen. His lips were set in a smile, and he even flipped on the radio and bopped with the song. Without Taylor, he was worried about the outcome, but now they had a new ally, and if history served, a very powerful one. He had another 10 miles an hour to his top speed.